Welcome to the Lead Pedal Podcast with your host, Bruce Outridge, where he talks all things trucking. Now let's get rolling.
Hello, welcome to Lead Pedal Podcast. I'm your host, Bruce Outridge. This is episode number 957, and today we are going to talk with, I'm going to say a god of radio. That's right, we're going to be talking with Stan Campbell, and of course, you know, Stan is with the Trucker Radio Show, and that show is ending, and you probably heard it here on Lead Pedal Radio, and we're going to talk to Stan about what he plans on doing next. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Hey folks, are you wondering how you can keep your career going without changing companies? Rosedale Transport has a variety of options available for employees through their large terminal network. You know, when you're entering the transportation industry, you may not know exactly what you want to do. Do you want to drive around the city doing deliveries, operate over the highway as a long-haul driver, or work in another position like dispatch, maintenance, or administration? To choose between many of these opportunities, you would have to quit and apply to different companies based on the positions available, and you hope that the company you stay with will like you. But every time you leave a company, it affects benefits like vacation time, pay scale, and much more. So why quit when all you have to do to move forward in your career is sign on with a carrier like Rosedale Transport? They have a wide variety of opportunities, locations, and positions across the vast network they have in North America. And you can learn more about these positions available with the Rosedale Group by visiting their website at rosedalegroup.com or rosedale.ca. Right now, they are looking for people in Barrie, Ontario, Mississauga, Ontario, Edmonton, Alberta, Kelowna, BC, Granbury, Quebec, London, Ontario, Montreal, Quebec, and Quebec City. So there is no reason that you can't get your career started no matter where you are. Head over to rosedalegroup.com, and you know what? Make sure you tell them that the Lead Pedal Podcast. All right, so we've been around with Stan for a long time. We've known Stan for probably the last 10 years. I've known Stan. Trucker Radio's been around for 16, 17 years. Stan's been in broadcasting for over 50 years. I'm not going to tell you how old he is, but he still looks young to this day. And he's got a voice that we've all tried to emulate. I've turned my microphone down as low as I can get it to try and get a voice like Stan. Unfortunately, I don't have that low a voice, but he's certainly got a voice for radio. And if you've ever heard or read his book, Ugly One in the Middle, I got to tell you, it is hilarious. He's had quite a life, and he's got a lovely wife, Marta, now. But he's had quite a life, and his experiences in radio. He's met some of the top stars in the music industry, and now he's been in the trucking industry, and now he's moving on to other things. And we wanted to find out what was going on. We're sad to see it go. It's been a Trucker Radio for probably the last year anyway, has been a staple on Lead Pedal Radio. It played every Tuesday morning and then repeated other times throughout the week. And that has come to an end now that we've reached April. And unfortunately, we've had to move things around, and I don't think we're going to not see Stan anymore. I know Stan and Marta, we see them personally, when we go down that way, but I think we're going to still see, it sounds like Stan's still got some things going on, and is planning on still being around and broadcasting in his own way, and I think that's going to be cool for all of us. So let's get on with the interview with Stan Campbell. I don't know how I say it, whether I say the former host of Trucker Radio, or just maybe we'll just go with radio host, because I'm sure we're not done. You may see Trucker Radio on in the future. Who knows? I know they've been talking and trying to sell it and that kind of thing. So whether we see Trucker Radio go on in the future, I know that whether it goes on or not, let's just say it's been a pleasure to know the team over there, and we've had a lot of fun listening to their music and listening to their banter, which is one of the specialties of that show. Anyway, we're going to come back with Stan Campbell right after this, so stay tuned. All right, everybody, I've got the talented, well-known, Stan Campbell on from radio broadcasting. What, 50 years you've been at? 52, I guess, by now. It's 50 years.
Doing what?
Broadcasting, radio.
Oh, yeah, broadcast. It's over.
I forgot what he does already.
It's over 50 years. In fact, I started in 1970
Yeah.
And I started late. I should be 60 years in it because, I wanted to get in it when I was 16, 17 years old, and I didn't start till I was at 28, 29 years old. So I got a late start. Before that, I was an electronics technician and working in the Arctic and doing all that crazy stuff.
I know people have to go read your book, The Ugly One in the Middle, to figure out that you got to get Stan's backstory, and you wonder how he actually made it through here.
Yeah, well,
I love the clips you put out though, like when you were talking with stars and stuff from your radio days in California and all that. I love when you put those out on Facebook. They're fun to watch and check out.
Yeah, I've run into a lot of people, when I was in Nashville and in LA, and I think back now. I one of the craziest things I remember from that whole world is, I grew up in a rural area. Hell, we didn't have indoor running water. We didn't have indoor toilet, nothing. We had nothing. And then I'm sitting in the back of a limousine at the corner of the famous corner of Hollywood and Vine. I'm being chauffeured in this stretch limousine, and I'm thinking, what the hell am I doing here? And I'm sure there's a lot of like big movie stars that feel that same way too, because they come from nothing, and then you're being chauffeured around. So I got spoiled for a little while, but
the limousine has more options than your home did when you grew up.
Oh yeah. It was very posh compared to where I grew up.
So the reason we're having you on is you're actually ending your. Well, I don't think you're ending your radio career, but you're ending the trucker radio part of your career. So how what's that? What does that bring us to? 17 years? How long is it?
17. It's almost 17 years. We're just a few weeks shy of 17 years.
Yeah.
I want to clarify something here. We are ending the trucker radio show, which means the syndicated version of the show. I was just saying to Marta a little while ago, I said, you know what? We have to continue trucker radio because we still have T-shirts and caps.
There you go. Got to get rid of.
There's a reason.
You can go somewhere and just give them away. Maybe at Expo Cam. Just bring them by. We'll take care of them. Yeah. That's cool. So it's kind of sad. I hate to. I've had a couple shows and it's because the people aren't prepared. They've come on and they thought it was going to be just talking in front of a microphone. They realized how much work it is to do this. And they last their 10 episodes or whatever ago. But you guys have been around a long time. You've been a staple of the industry for a long time. It's kind of sad to see you go. Like, I mean, there's probably some people are going, good, they're out of here. But I mean,
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think, it's a fun show. I still enjoy listening to your show all the time. And whenever I can, I try to listen to the show, and you guys have such a good banter. So how are you feeling about ending the show? I mean, you've made the announcement that April 1st, April 2nd is going to be your last one. And
yeah, that's the last one on radio stations. We told our radio stations about 6 weeks ago that we were ending. And, we got a lot of comments from the radio stations, positive comments of, sorry to see you go. It was an entertaining show, that kind of thing. And I think that was the big thing about it. It was Tim and Alicia and I would just have fun together, and I've known Tim for, God, it's going on 40 years. Yeah. I first met Tim when he was a recording artist. Right. And I produced his first album in Nashville. Okay. And that's how I got to know Tim. And of course, he's got a radio background, and still he's on the air on CKTV in St. Catharines. So Tim and we have a natural banter back and forth. Alicia joined us almost 8 years ago, and she works as a morning show producer at CHML in Hamilton. So, we get together and we banter off the air. Yep. And all the gossip about radio, maybe gossip about the trucking business and what's happening and so on. And then we do the show. Yeah. Somebody at a radio station said, well, is that all scripted, all this stuff you talk about? Was that? Hell no, it's off the top of our heads. Whatever works. And if it doesn't, we cut it out.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I'm going to miss it. I know I'm going to miss it.
Yeah. So I know the stations are going to miss it too. So now you are you're ending the show, but you're not ending what you do. And you've, of course, been doing podcasting and voiceovers and all kinds of. What's your plans going forward? What are you going to, other than like laying around on Tuesdays again? We have your show on Tuesdays, so that's what I think you're actually doing it. But I know it's recorded ahead of time. But on Tuesdays now you can sleep in. You don't have to be up for 10 a.m. for the Trucker Radio Show. What are you going to do with yourself once you're done?
Yeah, well, that's the thing about the show. We actually start putting it together on Friday. And then we record on Tuesday, and then we edit on Wednesday. So there's all of that's involved. But as far as what I'm going to do, oh man, some people keep saying to me, "Well, glad you're retiring." Hell no, I'm not retiring. God's going to have to retire me because the brain is like, I was talking to Crazy Canuck Dave back a couple of weeks ago, and I said my brain's like a big flywheel in a truck. You can shut the truck down, but the wheel's going to keep on going, and that's my brain is like a flywheel. It keeps going, so I got to do other stuff. One of those, I want to continue something I'm passionate about, and that's the fight against human trafficking. I feel very strong about that. And the other is I've created a new website, as if I needed more websites.
Yeah, you need another one.
We got a whole bunch of them now. I got a few for sale if anybody wants any. I've got one called, for lack of a better word, and I really agonized, what am I going to call this? And it's The Campbell Report.
The Campbell Report. Cool. And
it's a podcast about people who make a difference, people who inspire us. And of course, human trafficking and the people who fight human trafficking fall into that category. I'd give you an example of one guy that I'm going to be talking to. He is mentally challenged, but he does a podcast, and he's based in Cape Breton.
Okay.
This guy interviews movie stars.
Wow.
And he's amazing. He calls himself DJ Jack.
Okay.
So I want to interview him. What drives him to do this? When you consider his affliction. And he's quite a guy. So people like that, are inspirational.
Going to be interesting. So you're still going to be doing that. People can still hire you for voiceover work if you want to do that. You've got an amazing voice. Everybody's trying to get a voice like yours, so you don't want to give that up.
Well, thank you. I do a lot of work for Loves.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the voice of Love's training for their new employees.
Okay.
And from time to time, Marta does some translations for them and has done some Spanish voiceovers for them. So I do that, and I get the odd request to do voiceovers for various things. So yeah, I'll continue that. Probably expand that.
Yeah.
Because I really haven't gone after that business. Only people who have come to me and asked me to do something. So there's that.
Sure. Yeah. And we'll have some. Well, you're always welcome on Lead Pedal Radio, the podcast. We always love to see you and have you. What's happening with the brand now? If you can say, I don't know if there's deals going on with the brand or whatever you're able to tell us. What's going to happen to the Trucker Radio other tthan live on a couple hats that you still have in the closet? What's going to happen with that?
Well, we've got, I've ever since we decided we were going to stop the show, I kept thinking, okay. And in fact, you kind of inspired me because we were talking on the phone back several weeks ago, and I think you mentioned it's a shame to see that brand go away totally. And I started thinking about that too. There's the Trucker Radio Show, and then there's just Trucker Radio.
Right.
And a couple of things that we have considered, and they're all kind of up in the air at the moment. One is I joke with people about this. Yes, we're a 2-hour radio show, and we're considering going 24/7. They say, wait a minute. I thought you were retiring. You're going to do more? Yeah. Well, as you and I both know, we have automation where you can have it run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's really as good as how much you put into it.
Sure.
And you know that because you do your Lead Pedal Radio. And I know you put a lot of work into it. So that's something we considered. It's a lot of upfront work. We have an offer from a group in West Virginia who are interested in taking over the show.
Okay.
And I think there's some folks that you know in Houston who have voiced an interest in it several times. But between you and me, I don't think they're real strong on following up. So I don't think that's going to go anywhere.
It's hard to build another brand, but we've even considered your brand, here many times. And it's just to build another brand. I got enough brand I'm building. It was too much for me to take on, even though I think it's a strong brand, but it's just too much for us to take on and would deflect from where we're kind of trying to go. So, but I mean, you're on Lead Pedal Radio too. We love your brand. We don't want it to go away. Actually, we really want it to stay. You're one of the top shows on our station.
Well, with automation, I mean, one of the things we considered is, first of all, we have over 3,000 song titles in our library that we can rotate given automation and so on. So that's one thing. We have the name and we have the image, and we even have a jingle package that we bought 10 years ago. It's a little bit dated, and we have the website, we have our domain, and we kind of don't want that to all go away.
Right.
So we don't know at this point. I'm going to take a break after the actual show ends on April 2nd, and then take a deep breath and see where we go from there.
Goes for there. Oh, that's a lot of people are going to be probably voting for some. I'm sure we're going to still see you around. Now, you still have the podcast part, right? Is that still living on as well, or is that going as well?
And in fact, I want to expand that because we've been doing it. God, sometimes it's several weeks before we do a new one. I want to update that, and I'd love to try to do a new one every week. Chasing people for interviews sometimes is a little tough, and I just did one with Mike Millian talking about the problem with the increase in the number of accidents among truckers, and the training has kind of gone downhill and that kind of thing. So that's going to be coming on this weekend. I also have an interview with Liz Williamson, which will be both on TNT and also will be probably the first one on the Campbell Report. Interview with her, who is a survivor of sex trafficking. Right. So we'll do that as well. Okay. So that will continue. So my wife would like me to go out and build birdhouses and chase squirrels. But
so it sounds like you're going to be just as busy. So then, why did you stop the show? I know it was a daily commitment,
it was the weekly commitment. Every Thursday at 3 p.m. we have to have a 2-hour radio show available for radio stations. Right. And doing a show for radio stations, there are a lot of restrictions of what you can and cannot do and what you can and can't say. You have to have 35% Canadian content. Yeah. We kind of break that rule. I mean, we don't have to do that, but the fact that we include it makes us more attractive to Canadian radio stations. And it is carried by a number of U.S. stations and one major station in the U.K. So you had to have that every week. And no matter where I went, whether it was Columbia or Nova Scotia, got to have that show every Thursday. Right. So I want to get free of that.
Yeah, but it sounds like you're still going to be busy. You got like 3 shows you still were talking about, plus the
Well, yeah, but I'll be busy on my terms.
Right.
Not somebody else's.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Until I started doing it, and I realized it's not my terms anymore. But no, it's a lot of work. It depends how you do it, right? It depends what you do. You can do, the nice thing is you can do a lot of batch stuff, but if you're doing a radio, whether it's internet or, mainstream radio, you still got to have the content and the live and, all of that stuff, right? So it's still.
Yeah. And the thing, online radio is like what you do with Lead Pedal Radio. Online radio is becoming more and more popular. In fact, now Sirius XM is suggesting they may come off satellite entirely and just do streaming.
Right. I'll go on satellite then. I'm going to go back. I do whatever is opposite of Sirius XM.
Yeah, because getting an uplink is pretty expensive. I've checked into that.
So I'm told. I'm told. It'll be good though. So no, and so we'll still see you around. Are you planning on going to events, or are you kind of, once you get away from trucking, you're out of trucking?
I over the years have developed a lot of friends in the trucking business, so I'll have to see some of those friends again. Yeah. We'll probably go to the show in Quebec.
I'll see you there. We're going to be there for sure, so I'll see you there.
Yeah, and that's not that far away from us. It's probably less than an hour from us.
Oh, good.
So it's easy to get to, and I won't go in officially as Trucker Radio. Just show up as a visitor and come around and see everybody.
That's kind of how we work it anyway.
Well, yeah. Why sign up for that media thing? I mean, unless you have a booth. Will you have a booth there?
Not at Expo Cam. Hopefully in Truck World we will, but not at Expo Cam, just because our audience is not really Quebec. We're not French per se. So we have a lot of friends and stuff there. We're going to be that. Actually, they've got me coming down to do caricatures at the cocktail hour for all the sponsors. So I'll be at the cocktail party. You'll see me roaming around for a couple of days doing like what you do with, media and all of that kind of stuff. I find it is good to sign up as media though, and we found this out at Matt's when we went to Matt's last year. If you've been to I think you've been to Mid-America Truck Show, right?
Yeah.
So there's really nowhere to sit and eat. Everything is kind of like, burgers, and you sit on hard floor. Good luck trying to find a seat in that middle food court area. I found out as media that there's a separate lounge with separate food and, comfy couches and all of that stuff. Because we signed up, and we found it out 2 days after we'd been there fighting with the other stuff. I found it. So the last day I enjoyed it, but yeah, if you're media, you can go.
You mean at Matt's or at Expo Cam?
At Matt's.
At Matt's.
So Expo Cam, I haven't seen any special lounge. I've been media at Truck World for years. Hopefully
maybe they'll get the idea.
Yeah, maybe they'll get one, because it was nice. It's like, wow, there's no crowd here. You go in, it's only the people that were publications or whatever, and the guys from Overdrive and stuff were in there. It's fun. So,
you're not going to Matt's this year, right?
No, we've decided to go to the Iowa 80 Truck Show. I'm trying to go to some different shows because we go to the same shows every year, and my wife gets a little tired of that. So we're going to the Iowa 80 show, which is in July. So we've decided not to go to Matt's this year. We're going to do that one instead.
Yeah, our guy, Marty, who is kind of our sales and marketing guy, but he's based in Cincinnati. Right. So he's only like 90 minutes away from Louisville. So he's going to go to Matt's.
Now, you were saying he was going to like do a truck up or something, or logo his car with Trucker Radio. But now why would he do that if you guys are ending the show? It seems like
we're having that conversation.
Oh, okay. Because I would do that if you're keeping the show, but I wouldn't do that if you're ending the show. What's the point?
Yeah, he bought a Mercedes RV. Okay. And he can. I said, okay, well, just do a Klingon sticker on the side, Trucker Radio. But who the hell is going to see it? Well, I guess if you're driving on the highway, you can see it. But if you're at the truck show, you're in a parking lot, a quarter of a mile away from the door. Nobody's ever going to see you.
We didn't even move our car. Well, last time we were there, our hotel was across the street. We just walked across the street. It was easier than trying to find parks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Stan, listen, it's been a pleasure to know and work with you over the years, and I hope that I'm sure you'll stick around and do all kinds of stuff, and hopefully maybe we can get some of your content on our station if you want. But it's been a pleasure, and I hope you go out proud, because you really, you guys have done a great show.
Well, I appreciate that very much. We will stay in touch for sure.
Sure, yes.
Because I follow what you're doing, and congratulations for everything you do. And you're so involved in the industry. I could never keep up with you, even if I were living in Burlington.
My wife likes it. I'm out of the house. Just get him out of here. I don't care how he goes. Just let him go. So anyway, it's a pleasure, Stan. Thanks for the interview. Thanks for being on the show, and thanks for your show. And keep up the good work. And if there's anything we can do to help you in the future, let us know.
Okay. Well, I just want to introduce you before I go here to my partner.
Your partner? What's that? Hold on. I got the screen on. I got it. Let me.
It's my monkey friend.
Oh, what's his name?
Ralph.
Is that your new co-host?
That's my new co-host.
Tim and Alicia have said, see ya. Are they going to be involved in any of your new projects? Do you know offhand, or you maybe don't?
I know that Tim will be. Tim's involvement is very limited. He does news and commits with me on the show, but he has a full-time job, working at CKTV. Sure. And but Alicia is not only on the show with me, but she's also the show editor.
Okay.
So right. She's involved. So good. We'll see. Everything is. I think I'm going to start a website called we'llsee.com.
We'll see. I've been trying to get Carmen to start one. Here's another excuse. Excuses.com. She's got an excuse for everything I say why we can't do it. So I'm going, you should start the thing. I go for a walk. No, it's too cold. I go have this. No, she's got an excuse. So maybe we'll do excuses.com. So anyway, thanks again, Stan. Really appreciate your time today, buddy.
All right, Bruce. Thank you. Take care.
Good luck with the future endeavors for sure.
Yeah.
Hey folks, have you heard about TransRep? Well, there's a number of services that you may know of that name because they've been around for a while, but you may not know exactly what they do. Isn't that the way with all of us when we have many things on our plate? But let me tell you what TransRep does. Their services include merger and acquisition. So if you're trying to get your company ready for sale, they can help you with that. Consulting services, executive recruitment. Are you someone looking for a better opportunity? And they also help you with business development. Are you somebody trying to get your business going or get your business off the ground? People say when they're going with TransRep, they're going because TransRep is committed to helping their clients reach their goals. They say that they're constantly striving to provide solutions, even for issues they aren't even aware of yet. That's right. TransRep knows when you need some help, even before you know it. They've got an experienced team and a large network which reaches across several sectors, and it's always growing. And they are highly confident in the promise to serve you better. That's right. They don't take their jobs lightly. They know that you need to be successful for them to be successful. So where can you learn about that, their events that they put on, and much, much more? The best place to go is to transrep.ca. Hey, and if you go over there and you're talking to the team over there, would you please let them know that the Lead Pedal Podcast sent you? Thanks very much, everybody. All right. Hope you enjoyed that interview with Stan. It was great. Always great to talk to him. Look forward to seeing him in the future. I'm sure I'll be seeing him at a few shows this year, and look forward to seeing what comes up next. And I'm sure it's going to be something that's interesting. And if possible, we'll try and put it up on Lead Pedal Radio if it's something that fits with our genre and something that he's interested in doing. We will try and get it here. So you may still see from Stan from time to time. You may still hear from him from time to time. And whatever he does, I wish you well, Stan. I hope you and Marta have a wonderful life. You're wonderful people, and I hope everything goes well for you. Hey, thanks for following us. You can always follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can find me on LinkedIn, and you can find us on TikTok until the government takes everything down. And we're still there. But the best way to keep up to date is through our app, Lead Pedal Media. And that app is not that you need to necessarily listen through the app. It's just an easy way to have our radio station, our podcast, our video channel, our blog, communication with us all in one spot. That's probably the best way. We got some great shows like the Tropical Days show on Sunday afternoons. We got Jigs Dinner Sunday evenings for those of you that love some of that Newfoundland music. We got Julia Matthews. We got the Wow Show. We got all kinds of show. Dave Rogers, Trucking Safety Show. And there's lots of stuff for everybody, and there's just some really cool music on there. We help new musicians, and we also help a lot of people that are new to broadcasting and radio, and hopefully giving them a voice so they can be successful too. So listen to the station, listen to Lead Pedal Radio. We can go to leadpedalradio.com to learn more about us, and we look forward to talking with you and seeing you at events. We're going to be at a ton of events, and you want to join our fan club because we've got a lot of stuff coming up, and fan club members have monthly draws, all that kind of stuff. And some of the events that we have planned for this year will be for fan club members. So join the fan club, get involved with us, and we'll talk to you later, my friends. Thanks again, Stan, for all that you've done for us and all the great broadcasting over the years. See you, everybody. Bye for now.
This has been another episode of the Lead Pedal Podcast. For more information or to subscribe to the podcast, visit theleadpedalpodcast.com and be sure to follow the podcast on Facebook and Twitter.